This program is brought to you by Stanford University.
It's really a kind of marriage of two forms, the dramatic and the written form. Very unusual, highly imaginative, word for word. Their choreography, the way they trade lines back and forth, very fluid, very fluent. The Roman poet Horace has a famous line about the art that conceals art, and that is something that I have a long admired in word for words productions. It takes a lot of labor simply to learn how to move around a stage, how to trade lines off, say lines of exposition that in the story are all in the writer's voice and yet on stage must be voiced by the characters. So the decisions they have to make about who owns these lines, how they trade them off to best bring forward the expressive qualities of a given passage. And yet when you're watching the production, you don't really, you aren't aware of the work that went into it. It all feels so natural. I go to a lot of the lively arts concerts, and I just, for example, heard the Emerson Quartet performing 3 of Shostakovich's late quartets, and I was struck by how physical an experience it was, not just for the musicians, but for me, that I could actually feel the music, that I could feel the timbre of the cello, and I could watch the communion between the musicians and see how this music was produced, to see the human source of this music in attentiveness, in skill, in the relation of people to each other, that ends up in this extraordinary performance of music. You can't get that from a CD. It seems almost as if the origin of the music is a machine. And and I listen to music on my stereo all the time, and I love it. But there's nothing quite like watching it performed. And the other thing, which may sound odd, but I think one's attention is heightened somewhat by the possibility in watching a live performance, and not just of music, but of anything, that it could fail, that someone could hit a sour note or forget a line, and one would live happily with that. It's part of what part of what sometimes happens when you hear live music, but it does add a certain element of tension to the live performance that is invigorating for the audience, and no doubt extremely inspirational for the musicians and actors who perform live to be walking that tightrope without a net.
Thank you.